Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hi.
I feel like I have to say hi differently every time.
Yeah.
You know?
Good day, sir. We're back, coming off another wild weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You had, Friday, Saturday, and then a gig Sunday.
Yeah, 3 events in a row.
I had a Saturday, Sunday. And then Joe had a Friday, Saturday, I believe. So it was kind of a full plate.
Yeah.
Where were you Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I was County Line on Friday, which I always love being there and just close to home. And then I was at Journeyman in Three Oaks, Michigan on Saturday. And then I was there again on Sunday for a tasting, which was great. Got to leave my equipment overnight, which is always fantastic. Yeah, it was just a good weekend, solid weekend. Friday was good dance floor, really nice day. They had their ceremony outside. That was my first kind of like outdoor ceremony I've done this year, which was really nice. Weather was just like perfect. Wasn't too hot, wasn't, too windy or, no rain, just no clouds in the sky at all. And just, solid night, solid dance floor. Saturday, same thing. They kind of last minute added on just microphones for ceremony for us. They had live musicians doing music for like pre-ceremony and ceremony, and they were really good.
Oh, nice.
They did like the bride and groom were both like, I related to them really well because we were all kind of like a little nerdy, which was great. A lot of their pre-ceremony music was just like Nintendo, like instrumentals and stuff. And then I did the same for like dinner music, but it was really cool to see like live musicians playing all these like, songs from games that I grew up with and everything. It was just a fun time and just like a solid day. They had a bunch of putters that they brought for guests to use, but it was raining the whole day. So like no one could go outside or anything. Good for me because I didn't lose them outside because we were upstairs and they would probably go downstairs for the dance floor. But it was just a good night.
Any like song of the nights or any kind of interesting, unique or funny or weird things that happen?
No, just pretty straightforward days, like nothing super crazy. Maybe something will come back to me, but
what about speeches?
On Friday, there actually was no speeches during dinner, which was interesting. I think they did them during the rehearsal or something. We just had a dad giving like kind of a blessing, like welcome speech, but that was pretty much it. And then Saturday, they had handful of speeches, and all of them were really solid and really funny too. But like, that was interesting of just like no speeches. But I think their idea, they didn't really say it, but what I caught on was they just wanted one less thing. We talk about just how much so many events can take up time in the day, and eliminating that, everyone just enjoyed dinner. We got done with dinner super fast, and then dance floor was open right away. So like, if speeches aren't that important to you, then that's not really a problem. But just a good weekend.
Good. On Saturday, we were at County Line, and it was supposed to be, the ceremony was supposed to be outdoors, but it was raining all day. So it was a real bummer, and I felt really bad for the couple. They were very nice. So we threw in some free uplighting to kind of decorate the space since we're going to be spending way more time inside. Yeah. Everything went really smoothly, just kind of really chill, nothing too crazy. It was a Jewish wedding, so the rabbi did a really good job. She did singing and all that kind of stuff. A couple of speeches, nothing too crazy there. And then Sunday was absolutely gorgeous weather. It was outdoors at the Allure on the Lake on that like island peninsula thing.
Oh, you did a ceremony outdoors there?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet before.
And everything was flawless.
Nice.
Just the timing of all the music, the sound. The officiant kept it short and sweet, and it was fantastic. The couple was super fun, super nice. They had this they hired this amazing flower decor person called Safe Flower, and they had this amazing like greenery backdrop for their head table. They did like a sweetheart table kind of thing, and then they had their name light up sign on their last name, and then they did another colored light up sign with a white kind of floral wall for it was supposed to be like a selfie kind of thing. But when I saw that, I was like, that looks amazing. Let's just throw in a free photo booth. So we did. We went and had Cade run during ceremony, get the photo booth, so it was set up for cocktail hour. And it was just kind of a nice surprise, value-added thing. ways just to kind of make it really special for the couple. Which was, they were very appreciative, and her dad came up and thanked us, and the couple came up and thanked us. And the people went nuts on it. It had a really good time. And it got me thinking of like, I like to do that kind of stuff where we kind of go above and beyond for couples in key ways. And we like to do it, regularly. And we wish we could do it for every event, but I like to do it when it makes sense, when it fits. And so yeah, like on Friday we did the free up lights. On Sunday we did the free up lights in the free photo booth, just to make it just a beautiful, nice wedding.
Yeah. No, and I forgot I actually did the same thing. I had that tasting on Sunday, which I bring a photo booth. So
yeah.
I just text them. I asked them, like, do you want a photo booth? I'm going to be bringing it anyways. So like,
yeah.
And they actually had a whole backdrop they built. And it was going to be like a photo station for people to take in the venue. So I was like, I'll just use that. And then, it's kind of perfect if that's what it was going to be used for anyways. But yeah, that was like, I loved having that as an alternative to dance floor, because they got like a lot of use out of it, which was awesome. Because dance floor is great, but I honestly like a few things that people can rotate between. I feel like it keeps the energy higher when it's like, oh, we're able to grab a drink, take a photo, and then we're back like 2 minutes later, like we're ready to go.
Yeah.
But
so it got me thinking of like ways to go above and beyond, for couples, or ways you've gone above and beyond for couples in the past. Anything kind of come to mind, stories?
Yeah, there's one I just like forgot about, but it just came to mind recently. Was this was right when we got started in business, and it was like an outdoor wedding on this couple's property that they were building like their house still. Like they were in the middle of like building a new house, but they had enough like running water, like a few bedrooms built, that they were kind of like, let's just do it on our property. We'll put up a big tent and everything. People can stay in the house. We can kind of like party all night, that kind of thing. So I get there and it's just like thunderstorming so bad, like just coming down super hard, like kind of sleeting on and off throughout the day, like nonstop the entire day. So I get there and they are just like struggling with everything to get everything set up, because they didn't hire anybody to do.
Yeah.
They were doing everything on their own, setting up tables. So I'm like pulling in, and they have two cars. Like one's the photographer and one is just, I think it was the bride actually. And their cars were stuck in mud.
Oh,
like
no.
I couldn't. So they had like all these sheets of plywood like laying around that they were going to use for like people to walk on, because it was like so muddy. Like it was like deep mud. It was just so much rain was coming down that I just like shoved that under their tires to get like leverage, and I like got like 3 cars through the mud, got them unstuck like in my dress clothes.
Gosh.
Avoided getting muddy. And then after that, like we set up equipment, we helped them set up all of their tables, basically the entire wedding, like because they were just like so behind everything. I mean, if it wasn't for the rain, they probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
But it just really
Delayed
turned
everything.
into a huge cluster because of how bad everything was going.
Yeah.
But that was not what I expected to do. They were super appreciative that I like stepped up to do that. Because I mean, it was bad. Like the photographer was like literally, and she kept like hitting the gas super hard. So I just saw the car getting dug. I'm like, no, stop. Like you're going to get stuck so much worse. But yeah, that was a really crazy day. Yeah. End of the night, they just had like a few beers, bottle of wine. So they were just like, take what you want. Like you guys, like you've earned it. They tipped us. Like it was just a, pretty good dance floor, just a chill night. But like, that was a really crazy, no, I didn't expect to do it, but it was like, kind of saved the day. Like it was a good feeling that's how we started the night. And then since then, like they had so much trust in me, and it was just a nice night after that. But yeah, what about you? Anything? Any stories?
Yeah. I mean, recently we did that one where, they had a photo, I got a ultrasound photo. So I was like running up to get that. And so they could like take photos with it and keep the photo, because the light was kind of crazy that day. So I wanted to make sure we got the photos in. That same one we custom recorded the ceremony Walk Down the Aisle song. I hired Kyle to do. He did a fantastic job.
On piano, right?
Yeah. So it was like Canon and D mixed with like a Taylor Swift song. I think Enchanted was the song. And so it's just, he literally custom composed a blend of two, famous kind of ceremony, a popular pop song and a ceremony song. So she could walk down to a custom kind of song. That same wedding, they bought like a light up sign too for like their photo booth, selfie booth kind of thing. And that didn't come with a power cable. So we ran out and bought a power cable, because the venue was like, do you have one of these? I was like, we don't. And she's like, I'm just stressing about it. I want it to work for them. And like,
right.
I was like, I will take care of it. So we went and bought one, and no problem. It was like $10 at Walmart. So just that kind of thing, like I love to do. Or yeah, we'll throw in a photo booth or throw in lighting or just something that's like really nice that goes above and beyond so they can, have a good time and enjoy the day. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Oh, I had one that was kind of crazy. It was years ago, maybe 2014, 2015. Years ago, I got my officiant's license, I guess you could say that, certification, to marry friends and stuff. And I married a bunch of couples, but they hired like a judge to come and marry them, and the judge didn't show. I think they got the schedule wrong or the date wrong or something, and who knows? Maybe they had a judge emergency. I don't know. But I stepped in and married the couple.
I never knew that.
Short and sweet, nothing crazy, but just did the vows and did the whole,
Right.
you take you and take you, that kind of deal.
It's like, is there a doctor on the plane?
Yes, yeah. Well, these two need to get married. I better step in. Yeah, yeah. Pull out my card. Right?
Yes, I am certified.
Yeah. So. Universal Life Church online. How can I help?
That's cool.
Is there an officiant in the room? Yeah.
That is
or a sea captain. But yeah, just stuff like that. Anything that you can do extra to really make the day, take off stress, to make it more fun, and ideally, increase the customer experience. That counts for a lot. You told me recently about that oil change place that was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They're giving you a discount, but then they were really nice to you, and they're like, hey, if you write us a review, we'll throw in another coupon or whatever. Like they were just going the little extra for you. I always love when people do that.
And kind of the inverse of that, of like, there's been times where I've either had other vendors, a venue, or even the couple, like one do something that makes me feel really good, just the work that I'm doing, or to like help. During speeches, like Brian Grimm thank you speech, they like shouted out all the vendors, the venue, like us, like by name. And they were like, thank you for making this happen. And like individually gave us like recognition, which is kind of rare. I don't really see that very often. And I was like, I told them afterwards, I'm like, thank you, like genuinely thank you for doing that. That really means a lot. I think I mentioned this before, but there was a groom from like 3 weeks ago. He, at the end of the night, went to every single person in the room individually to like shake their hand and say thank you. Like even like the guys just like tearing down tables, like every person in the room. So yeah, little things like that go
super
a long
classy,
way, you know?
And you don't have to do that. It's not expected.
No.
It's they're doing above and beyond to do something nice. And
oh yeah. One time before I was like talking to a couple about like my wife's like obsession with coffee. So like they not only tipped me in cash, but got me like a coffee like gift card. And they're like, give this to your wife.
Oh, that's
so I was
nice.
like, oh, like that.
They remembered.
Like, you remember like something from a phone call we had, like such a small thing. But yeah, it's the little things.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's sometimes things happen that are outside the couple's control. And so, as a vendor, like I've done enough of these things to like the show must go on. And how do I make the best thing happen right now? And sometimes that's adding something extra. Sometimes it's not doing something or dropping something,
right,
adjusting the timeline to that kind of deal. But sometimes it's not necessarily something that's out of their control. It's just something they forgot. And there's so many details when you're planning a wedding. And I was thinking, like, what are some little things that get overlooked pretty regularly, that get forgotten? And or what are some big things that get overlooked that we see as vendors,
It can be really easy for like the smaller event things happening later in the night to just get forgotten.
Yeah.
I even recently, like I had a bouquet toss and I like had connected with the bride like 3 times of like, do you want to do it? And she's like, I'm looking for bouquet. And she's like, like later. And it just didn't happen. Like we just didn't get around to it. Not that it was that compared to everything throughout the night.
Sure.
That important. The photographer was gone. They weren't going to get pictures of it. It wasn't like a big deal for them. Yeah, that was like a tiny one. I'm trying to think of a bigger one though. Do you have any on your mind?
Common ones, just if they have like shuttles that to give us the shuttle schedule and to announce that when, to like that kind of thing.
Right.
Assuming the shuttle's on time. The best shuttle ones are when they come in and tell me, hey, shuttle's here. I'll be leaving at this time. Can you just tell them I'm here and I'll be back at this time and this time, this time. That kind of thing. Especially at those venues where there is no Ubers. This is
Middle
the way.
Of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. You will be stuck here.
Some of those barn chic venues are just like middle of a cornfield.
Yeah. Take in the landscape because you're going to be here a while.
Yes.
Little things. I mean, timeline, of course, always gets overlooked. That's very common.
Changes. I always try and I've gotten in the habit of I text my couples usually 2 days before, sometimes the day before, but around that time to just check in and be like, hey, I'm excited for the weekend. any last minute things that changed up, like anything you need from me. And like probably like 8 or 9 times out of 10 that I send that text, there is at least one thing that's like, oh, this person is now giving a speech or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, recently there was a wedding I went to and it was like 10 different things. It was just crazy how, and just nothing was communicated to me. And some of it was because it was a surprise for the couple, but the bridal party could have gotten my contact info. It was all just that day. So I showed up, you know, this is the order for introductions. No, that's not the order. All the names are wrong. The whole order. I have to retype everything. Okay,
no.
so that's fine. And then, we also have a coordinated dance that we're coming out to. Okay, that's fine. Is there anything that I need? Yeah. 2 different songs that I originally didn't have. So now it's like, okay, so I had you guys all come into one song, but now we have 2 different songs we're doing. Okay, got it. And then they were also talking about, they brought up coordinated dance. There was like 5 people talking to me about it. There's another coordinated dance that was happening.
No.
And this was going to happen after the maid of honor speech, and I was going to hit play. And then I asked, and I was like, do I start from the beginning? Yes. And then I go to talk to somebody else, and I'm like, hey, so, and she's like, okay, after my speech, we're going to go into the song. I'm like, yes, I'm starting from the beginning. She's like, you're not starting from the beginning. You're starting from 1:20. And I'm like, okay. So I just received this song. I just had to buy and download it.
Yeah.
I just talked to somebody else who said that. So I'm like, I'm going to cross-reference and check with the other 3 people and make sure that that is the case. Yeah, I had to start at 1:20. Everything went fine, you know?
Yeah.
We figured it all out.
Because you're you and you're experienced and you're used to like, yeah, I can make that happen.
And nobody knew that there was all these changes, you know, other than me.
Yeah.
So, but it was just crazy how much. And then there was other things throughout the night that changed too. Like, you know, we planned on doing one thing, they don't want to do anymore. Yeah. We ended up doing the dollar dance that night, and that wasn't even a plan. You know, it's just all those last minute things that I would feel really bad about if I were to make a mistake, but it would be totally reasonable if I would have made a mistake because of the changes that
I couldn't prepare for it. Yeah. So I'm just doing this on the fly and adapting.
If I didn't ask one question about the timing of that song, it was 50 people. They were like, it's like 10 people. There was 50 people on the dance floor doing a coordinated thing together.
It would have been wrong.
If I started at the wrong time, I would have been in the wrong. I would have looked wrong. Yeah. But I literally just got that like 10 minutes before we did it. So it's like,
DJ, you're ruining my life.
Yep.
All I had was this.
So everything went great, and I'm happy it did. But I was also like, you're really just setting me up for disaster right now.
Some of the common ones that generally, it's like, oh, so-and-so is giving a speech. Oh, we never told you so-and-so wants to give a speech. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
What we said we're going to do a cake, we're not doing a cake now, or they'll cut things or add things, that kind of thing. Generally, when I meet with the couples, I'd say that's totally fine, and we'll do it. You know, I just want you to enjoy the day. And so if cutting this thing is going to help you do that or speed things up or whatever, you know, you don't just adjust it. Definitely, people, last minute speeches, and you know how I feel about that. They don't usually go well, or they go way too long, or they give the stories that go nowhere. Occasionally, very rarely even, I've had where it's like, oh, we've changed locations, you know, or we've changed venues or that kind of thing.
Whoa.
Once or twice I've gotten really close to the week of, and I'm like, they haven't got back to me. They haven't returned my call. Is this wedding still? I'm calling the venue and calling the other vendors. And they're like, yeah, they canceled. They broke up, you know. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't show up, you know.
Right. Yeah. Didn't you have to like Facebook message one person because they broke up, and the bride was like, I'll cancel all the vendors, but they didn't, but she didn't
do it. Yeah.
So then last second,
the groom was like, hey, yeah, we did cancel. Sorry.
Yeah.
We were supposed to contact you like 6 months ago.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Common thing, big things, little things, people forget.
I mean, so this was one, and this was not the couple's fault, but our buddy John came into town to work a wedding for us over the weekend, and he was saying that during the ceremony, the officiant forgot their personal vows. Oh my gosh. The couple was going to give personal vows to each other, stuff they had written out, and he just completely skipped past it. And then also, I think, made the ceremony a lot more religious than it planned on being.
No.
Like a lot of the like very like, you know, you are now owned by the groom.
No. That's terrible.
But yeah, skipping over the vows, that is huge.
Especially if they wrote their own. It's such a meaningful, poignant thing, you know?
I mean, I don't know. If it was me, I would have like stopped. I would have been like, hey, like we didn't do this part.
Hey, we would like to do our vow. Yeah. Interrupt instead of just go with it.
That's crazy though, that was just like skipped past.
That's wild. You know, of course, people like have crashers or people that show up that said they weren't going to, or guests show up, that kind of deal.
I've had venues where it's like there's like an upstairs thing, like a rooftop.
Oh,
that's like
yeah,
separate,
surprise,
and then
we're
like
doing another party.
People just like walk into the wedding. I've seen that happen
yeah.
before. I literally had like the bride. She was like, "Who are these people?" And I'm like, "Not my friends." I'm like, "I did not invite them." If that's what you're asking, not for me. Yeah, they just like literally walked in. They came up to me. They're like, "There's a wedding going on." I'm like, "Yes, you're not invited.
You're actually in it. You're in the middle of it right now.
I do have like kind of an off-topic question.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Sure.
So, this was just from my wedding that had like all the things I was mentioning that were just last second changes. But I just want to see how you'd handle this situation. So I had the father of the couple come up to me and request a song. I legitimately forgot about it. It was not purposeful. I wrote it down. I'm moving on. I got a lot of requests throughout the night. I got a list from the bride and groom, bunch of music. Legitimately just forgot about it, didn't play it. Time had passed. It was like an older song. We were more into modern stuff. The vibe had changed. I forgot about it. He came up, and then his whole demeanor was very aggressive and was, "Do you know who's paying for this wedding?" That was like the first thing he said. And I was like, okay. I'm like, "You?" And he's like, "You didn't play my song that I asked for. Let me ask you again. Do you know who's paying for this wedding?" I'm like, "You." So, obviously it's like he paid for the wedding. He's the one who booked us. I am there to make the couple happy. But at the same time, like he's the one who paid us. He's technically our client at the same time. How would you handle that situation? I ended up playing the song basically. And, because of the pressure that I was getting. And I also found a time that it could be appropriate to play.
Sure.
I slowed down the dance floor. I dropped the song. We kind of went back into oldies. It actually did work. It didn't kill the dance floor or anything. And I managed to be able to get back into what I wanted to do. And it worked out. But yeah, how would you handle that situation? Not even just from like a parent, but I guess just from like a guest being that aggressive. But
to me, there's key things here that I think context matters, and there's important details that change everything for it, and it would change what I would do. So the first is his claim that who's paying for the wedding. So do I have that? Like oftentimes the couple signs the contract and pays us.
Right.
Now he may have given them the money, but as far as I know, my contract is with the couple.
Right.
They're the ones who signed. Where that money came from doesn't matter to me as long as it gets paid. Now, he may have feeling that he has rights to things, but legally he has nothing. So that's a very important distinction, that my agreement is with this couple who signed the contract. They are ultimately my customer. You may have financed that, and I want to give credit and respect to that, but you're not my customer. The second is like, when people book, they'll book, 18 months, 12 months, 6 months. They'll book a very decent, very long period of time. And we immediately send them a planning app where they can start putting in their song requests. They can share that app access with family, with friends. He has had all of that time to put in a request on the list and to even mark it as a must-play priority. And so his last second, like, walk up, I want to hear this song, like, well, you've had all the time in the world to plan this out and to,
And that's the thing. When it was asked, we were just at a different point in the night. If he would have let me know before dance floor, even day of like, hey, this song's really important to me, I'd love to hear it on the dance floor, I would have tried to make it work in a point of time where it would have worked. That's kind of the hard thing that a lot of people don't understand is like, I am making a plan. I'm not just playing any song back to back. Like there is a reason why I'm playing this song now as opposed to earlier or later.
To me, just the attitude is really unfounded and really just shouldn't exist. It's just wrong to have that level of entitlement, and when you're not willing to put in any planning.
Right.
You want to show up and just have the DJ like jump, like, come on, like I'm trying to throw a great dance floor. I'm going to kill that energy by playing that song. But if you had told me 6 months ago that that's a must play, it's really important to my dad to play this song, then I would have worked that into the plan of the night. But for you to come up and just, hey, right now, play this song next.
Right.
There's going to be a consequence to the dance floor in the night, and people may leave. People may be upset. So I don't know. Just the whole attitude really throws me off. I think he ultimately did the right thing, play the song. I, of course, would check with the couple, make sure they want that song played. It is hard when sometimes you get into this where, the couple, like, we just love this music and we don't want any, like, country or whatever. And then their parents, they just want country. And their parents are like, well, we should get, because we're paying, and like the couple is really the customer. Their wedding.
Luckily, like the couple and also the entire dance floor was not picky. I mean, I had them out there from beginning to end, like the entire night. It was hard to lose them. Even when I did lose them, it was still a packed dance floor. Like it was a pretty big wedding in general. It was also a song that I didn't think was going to like kill the dance floor. I just needed to find a time to play it. Like it was going to require like effort on my part to make it work, you know, because we were going to have to change up the energy, but it wasn't necessarily going to kill it. And honestly, it kind of let us go into a cool, we were end of the night anyways. I was able to go like oldies into like rock sing-alongs, and then we kind of went back into upbeat again, and then end of the night. It was like a great way to end, and I made it work. And like, I really did it too because of like drunken, aggressive behavior. I don't know what people are capable of, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd rather just like play a song than have to get yelled at for like the next, because who knows what the rest of the night was going to go like if I didn't play that song, because his attitude changed very quick once it was played. And he didn't really get me to play more after that. That was the other thing, is that like I've had this situation where as soon as I let my guard down and then I'm like, fine, I give you what you want, then that one person is like, okay, well then you gave me this one song, so here's 10 more.
Give a mouse a cookie. Then they think they can run the show then.
Right.
Which you don't want either. But yeah, that's definitely frustrating, and it puts you in a tight spot. But to me, that really the onus is on him. First of all, I would doubt that he even signed the contract. I would almost guarantee it was the bride.
Name was not on there,
or the groom. He may have financed it, which is fine. But then your qualm is with the couple to make sure your song gets requested as part of the request list. But either way, we're a business. We're providing a service. They don't own us.
Right.
We're human beings. You don't, just because you pay somebody some money doesn't mean you own them and own their, you can ask, and it may or may not get that may or may not get met. Anyway, it's so ridiculous to treat. Makes me think of that Batman movie where Bane is like about to kill that like stockbroker person. He's like, I've paid you a small fortune. He's like, and you believe this gives you power over me? The guy realizes his money meant nothing,
Yep.
So it's just that kind of thing. I totally take issue with anybody treating you like they own you because they've paid some money.
And it just throws me off so much because, I'm just sitting there, I'm having a good night, we're having a good dance floor, I'm in a good mood and everything.
Yeah.
And then it's like, this comes out of nowhere, and I'm just immediately attacked. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Well, and it is tough to balance, especially when those are the exact opposite, and the family doesn't. I always try to get them to talk and sort it out. First, but to me that just sounds like poor planning on the dad's part and poor communication on his part, and then having this immediate like do this or else expectation is ridiculous. But it sounds like you just adapted and did your best. I would have definitely made sure the couple was okay with me playing the song, and I'd be like, hey, your dad wants me to play the song. Is okay, that kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody owns me. Nobody owns our staff or our, it's just because they pay, they're paying for our services. So yeah, that's a tough one. Sometimes too, it's really tough when the couple, they can't agree. Like, I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock. They have totally opposite tastes. Somebody's like, that's on the must playlist. And they're like, no, that's on the don't playlist.
I haven't had too many that are like butting heads that hard. But the ones that I have had that they're like, the groom's like, I really want country songs. I want to hear them. I try and like meet in the middle of like, well, okay, why don't we get some of those songs going during like cocktail and dinner? Because then you can still hear them. But like if they're not danceable and then like bride thinks it's going to be bad for the dance floor, you still get those songs. There's always compromise that can be made.
Yeah.
It was like my father-in-law put together like cocktail and dinner music. I was going to let any of that music play during dance floor, but like it was good music for that time. That was totally fine. And he got to hear those songs. Like, so you can keep the balance, but
I think there's always a way to kind of like, compromise and work it out, but assuming that there's conversations had. But imagine if, your father-in-law just showed up and was demanding the DJ play all his music for cocktail.
Right.
Like the couple told me I could. I'm like, oh, well, I met with the couple and they never said that. Like, that happens all the time where it's like, the parent or somebody communicated and the couple did not communicate with us. And so it's like, we get caught in the middle.
Well, and then I had one time before where they sent out with their invites, like, let us know a song you want to. So I like that idea. But what they did do was they like went through all of them, and then they added the ones they like to their playlist. They added the ones they do not like to their do not playlist.
Yes.
So then I had people coming up, hey, can you play this song? I put it on the list so I get to hear it. Like that was like their mentality was like, because I sent this song in, you have it. And then like, I can't say, oh, actually the couple put it on their do not playlist because that song sucks.
Yeah.
And you suck now.
Yeah.
That's what we're really trying to tell you.
Let me bully you a little bit. Yeah.
Give me your shirt, Kyle. Come
Yeah,
here.
come here, you.
But yeah, no, it's just it's just like an awkward. So every time I was like, oh, okay. Nope. Like,
Yeah. It is funny to me because they filled a little card on a wedding invite that somehow, that's going to definitely get played. Generally, that's a suggestion. It's a request. It's a, hey, I like this.
But
Can you?
Everyone thought that it was just like, oh no, I put the song in, so I get it here.
I get it. I put it on the list.
It's going to be.
It's like, oh well, I have the list right here, and it's not on there. I'm sorry. There's something else you'd like to hear, and they never have another thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny to me when it ruins people's night. They're just, oh.
It just makes me sad for that person of just like this one song not getting played.
My whole happiness was riding on it. You know,
you just got like a good night out. You get to be with your friends and family.
Free food, free drink,
food, free alcohol.
Nice time socializing, celebrating.
In a nice venue. Yep.
Not to mention you're invited to a party. They could have not invited you. Like
everything's great about being at a wedding.
You got asked to attend this beautiful social event, celebration.
I didn't hear Cupid Shuffle.
Come on. My night is ruined.
I really thought that when I would grow up that everyone was mature and everything.
Oh,
but
no.
No, it's just I feel like it's just a bunch of children sometimes.
It is. And of course that comes out in every, but it's so funny to me when it comes out with songs.
Yeah.
If I don't hear this, I'm going to be sour. Oh man.
And we never want to let you down.
No,
it's like if we could play that song, if that song was going to be good for everybody else, it would be playing right now. But if we're not playing it, it's just because it's not good for everybody else. We're not just thinking of you.
And sometimes it has nothing to do whether it's a good song or not. Sometimes it's just not, like you said, a good time of the night to play that song. Sometimes the couple has requested us not to play that genre or that artist or that song. And sometimes it's just like, that's not a danceable song. It's a good song, but people don't dance to that song.
Right.
And so the whole thing at this point of the night is for dancing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people come up and like, hey, can you play this such and such, whatever, slow drum. And I just played during cocktail or played during dinner. So I was like, yeah, there it is. I played it. Yeah. And I think they meant dancing, but I'm like, no, that's going to be perfect. I'll play it right now. Then I played it, and then they can't say, for dance. Oh, well, I already played it. Sorry, that kind of.
The people that are like, I do try and get people really on our side that like, they're wrong about timing, but they're not wrong about a song.
Sure.
Like 10 minutes into dance floor, and they're like, can you play Mr. Brightside?
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, great song, but later.
Yes.
Later
in the night, I'm going to definitely play it.
But later.
Yes.
And then if they question it, I'll kind of explain. I'm just like, listen, like this song is a good song, but it will be great. Absolutely great later in the night, not now.
I have to like teach them about like.
Most people get it.
Can you play it next?
I do, but I try and really like people that are like, I want them on my side and I'm just trying to make a good team of people that like the whole night, they're like, the DJ was great. I'm leaving. They're complimenting me. I love that feeling. So yeah, that's really important that like we maintain that. You're building trust with that dance floor.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it always hurts when it's just that one person you're letting down. And I wish it didn't. It's like you made like 150 people happy and like had a great night, but it's just, sometimes.
On Sunday, it was raging. It was like the first 2 hours, it was dead because it was early wedding. Mm-hmm. And so it was just like really sunny and really nice weather. Everyone's outside. They're taking sunset photos. It was really hard to get a dance floor. But then the last 2 hours, it just literally switched, and then full floor rest of the night, raging party.
Nice.
We played all the songs. It was awesome. In the middle of that raging dance floor, this older guy comes up. Hey, you guys got any Foo Fighters? I'm like, yes, of course. Like, Dave Grohl is amazing. Like, Foo Fighters are awesome. They're not danceable. Nobody's like, ever long, It's so ridiculous. There's no way I can play that. We're doing apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Everybody's raging hard, singing, dancing hard, jumping up and down. And I'm going to just like.
There goes.
Wait, exactly. My hero. Yeah. Yeah, someone get in the best. It's so ridiculous. No, there's not a single Foo Fighters song that's going to hit. That guy likes the Foo Fighters, and he wants to hear the Foo Fighters. Guess what? It's not his wedding. I've done Foo Fighters. I've done alternative cocktail hour, alternative dinner, we had a wedding last summer that crushed with that. They did alternative ceremony, all that kind of 90s grunge hits and stuff. And not during dancing, bro. It's not a danceable song. Foo Fighters, great band. But who's the Chili Peppers? No.
Now that I think about it too, it's like this is the only event where I feel like people do not read the vibe or the room at all. Like if you were to go to a concert, like I don't know, let's just say like a bluesgrass concert, you're not gonna be like, hey, do you guys got any rap music that you can bust out? That'd be pretty great. I think everybody here would love that.
Sure. Everyone want to do some raps. You guys got any Kendrick? And it's so funny too when they ask if we have it. Sometimes I'm like, yes, we do have something like that. But they didn't ask me to play it. They literally asked if we have that music, you know? And so I'm like, yeah. And they walk away thinking that I said I was going to play it. I didn't say I'd play it.
You just asked if I had
it.
Yeah.
And, well, could you play it? No.
Oh, see, that's another question.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah, we definitely have it. Yeah. Or we can get it. Yeah. You guys have any Foo Fighters? But again, yeah, that would have killed the dance floor. And then people would have thought I was a bad DJ and I was ruining the night. What is this guy thinking? You know? Read the energy, read the room. But some people don't care. They just want to watch the world burn. And they just want to listen to Foo Fighters while doing it. You know, it's just.
Can I have that on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Some people want to watch the world
Someone
burn.
getting the best of you, you know.
Some people want to watch the world burn and listen to Foo Fighters while doing it.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's so ridiculous, though. But that guy might have gone away. He never came back again. And I assume he didn't complain. But it's so ridiculous when people try to like, I want to hear my song at this event, that it doesn't matter if it ruins the event for anyone else.
I always also, when they get the couple involved and they're like, well, I'm going to go talk to him.
Yeah, you go do that.
And
sometimes I'm confident the couple will back me up. And sometimes I'm like, okay.
No, it is great where I've literally seen the conversation like non-verbally from a distance.
This guy's a jerk.
And then the couple's like, no, I'm not playing that.
And they're like, you can see it on their face. And the couple's like, no, you suck. We're not going to do that.
That is a good feeling.
Yeah.
That makes you feel better of like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
I generally try to avoid that. I don't want them bothering the couple with their requests.
I have literally explained before of like, listen, I'm like, do you really want to go bother them when they're enjoying themselves about one song?
Yes, I do.
No, that has happened too.
I want to ruin their wedding.
They're like, I'm going to go do that right now.
Oh my gosh. Good times. Well, yeah, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, same.
This has been the DJ Insider Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
We'll see you on the dance floor.